Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
VG Siddhartha's passing away has exposed the dark underbelly of the business segment, especially whether entrepreneurs are under pressure from various government agencies and whether that leads them to take extreme steps. Here I'm joined by Mr. K.Ganesh, who's a serial entrepreneur and partner of Growthstory. But your growth of your story also has been exceptional. You have shown to the country what startups can do, what impact you can make. You've put India also on the world map. While saying so, let me start with Siddhartha's case. Cafe Coffee Day as a brand, how does it stand today? What do you see the future of it with Siddhartha's passing away?
This has really been a very sad and very tragic event for all of us in the industry, people who have known him, people who have admired the brand, and people at large, right from the employees to investors to consumers. So I think it's a very sad day. From the point of view of the brand and the company a lot would depend upon how we are able to handle the events in the next few months. There seems to be a lot of debt, both on the company as well as the personal holdings of the family. Much of it has even been pledged as shares, which will need to be sold off to meet the debt obligation, and with the falling down of stock prices, that automatically will get triggered. So it is going to be a turmoil, tumultuous time for the company, given the shares that have been pledged and given the debt that is there. On the positive side, it is a great brand. They have multiple outlets, both India and abroad. And like it often happens with businesses like this, if you do a Pareto analysis or a 80-20 analysis, if you consolidate, remove some of the loss making, the 20% that doesn't contribute, the business can turn healthy. But somebody has to handle the debt part of it and leveraging part of it separately. I don't know the details because it was a complex organization with multiple verticals. Some of the verticals are not very transparent as to what the health of it, what the value on the books is, what the debt is, and that. So because it's not a simple business, it's more a consolidated business. So that would come only out of a proper audit and a full assessment of the story. It's a great brand. I hope, and there is value to the brand. I do hope, for the sake of all the stakeholders, not just the investors or creditors, from the employees side, and also from the pride in India. 3 years back, I was in Vienna on a holiday. I actually chanced upon a Cafe Coffee Day store. I actually got off and went to the store because I thought it's actually a copy. Somebody has tried to copy exactly the same symbol. I didn't believe that it was actually in Vienna Central Market. Cafe Coffee would be there. When I went in, I was pleasantly surprised because the menu came. It talked about the history of Chikmagalur coffee and all of that stuff. I took a picture and and when I came back, sent it to Siddharth, saying that it made me so proud that right in the central market in Vienna. We are not talking about London or something like that. Talk about Vienna, where it came. So I think that level of brand and brand recognition exists. So I'm sure there is a value in that. But a financial audit, even a bit of forensic accounting, and a deft handling by people will be required to save the company.
But what has happened, has that also set a precedent of sorts? Because does it also lead to the fact that if companies are running into debts, then there is a kind of pressure that comes from enforcement agencies like the Income Tax Department or the Enforcement Directorate, that there is no way out? You could even feel stifled to a large extent and take somebody to the brink of such kind of decisions.
No, I think, running a business is always tough. It is never easy. I mean, be it the interest cost, be it over leveraging, be it the competition, be it the environment and the market. You see, I mean, we have seen Jet Airways going through troubles. We have seen Kingfisher Airlines going through troubles. So there is enough and more happening in the complex business, be it an early stage startup or an established company, to be able to consistently strive and grow. There are a few great examples which have managed to do it, but most of them actually struggle. If you look at the top 50 companies in any either US or Indian stock market indices and now what they are, many of them have moved out. So it is quite par for the course. And founders, owners, entrepreneurs are quite familiar with the ups and downs and the challenges that happens in running a business. We go through such an emotional roller coaster in terms of mood and in terms of the sentiments as well as in actual business to be able to handle all of it. Now the tax part of it, I think we need to have more information because apparently there has been tax claim, there has been admittance of underreporting of income, and unfortunately one of the ways enforcement really happens is by the tax regime going after whatever you can attach. So whatever is liquid, whatever is available. The fear is if you don't do that and it goes into a legal system, it will take a long time to recover. So they do use that as a threat or as a tool, attachment of liquid assets available in order to be able to enforce a claim. Now, really, was the timing right? Was it extra activism on the part of income tax? I really don't know. But again, very sad day. Going to such extreme measures in order to handle the stress, I feel really bad because this is something which is, I would say, par for the course. Otherwise, you should take up a very simple job. Okay, right? You would not do this.
Looking at the bigger picture, sir, there are so many entrepreneurs who want to make it big. There's so many of them who want to start up. Such kind of incidents, does it set them back? Does that pull them back? Because if they feel at some point of time the business goes awry or it could have a downslide, that things could really go bad where you have officials swooping down and maybe putting you in a fix.
Yes, something as tragic as this does shake up everybody. Okay, right? I am discussing for a potential deal of two of our companies, and this is a 30-year-old listed company which I am discussing with. The promoter of that company actually called me to say, "Man, is this whatever we are contemplating doing? Is that worthwhile doing it? If it's going to happen like this, what is this happening?" Okay, right? So it does shake up everybody because on the other side, the media and all of us have been glamorizing only the great success, unicorn valuation, success of Flipkart, $18 billion sale, multi-millionaires being generated in a matter of 2 years and 3 years and startup world. So all that glamorization happens. All the front pages are filled only with this news. So at that time when something like this happens, it does shake up everybody. People start looking at it.
What can the government also do at this time? Because it has sent out a signal while in his letter he has mentioned names and details as to what could possibly have led to his death. But at the same time, do you think that the government should act fast? Because all these agencies are under the government and they have although they work on their own and they claim that they're doing this because they want to keep a check on people who are defaulters. On one hand you have an environment where you're saying make in India, on one hand you're in an environment where you're saying entrepreneur friendly, and on the other hand you have such kind of pressures. So do you think the government should do something really quickly to ensure such kind of ease of business actually happens?
No, I think we should not confuse this particular incident and the developments here. Some of it are still unfolding with the ease of doing business or categorize it as tax terrorism or tax enforcement on an aggressive scale. I don't think we should do that. But without using this as an incident to be able to learn, the fact is we need to do a lot for the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Just take the example of two of the biggest challenges we face is employment generation. Now, employment will come out of new industries. Cafe Coffee Day employs 10,000. The number of people that an Amazon or a Flipkart or our own Big Basket employs is phenomenal. The old traditional industries are not going to employ people because of automation, because of AI machine learning coming up. It is the service industries, the Swiggies and Zomatos of the world that are going to employ people. So we need to create really ease of starting business, doing business in India, so that with a pure selfish mercenary objective from government of India that we need jobs to be able to keep people occupied and happy and avoid, like in some other countries, what's happening, anarchy to the extent of this. So I think that is one that is very important. Two, while taxes are very important, I think while implementing the taxes, the government has lost some of the perspective on where to focus on. Okay, right? For example, angel tax was a major issue, even though it has been 99% addressed. Now, the amount of angst it created, the amount of problem it created compared to the amount of money it would have generated is so minuscule that it ended up stifling young entrepreneurs, investors, angel investors. The entire ecosystem went into a standstill mode for something which government would have got very little benefit. Downstream tax even that takes place. So one of the ways government needs to deal with people is have clear-cut rules, by all means have punitive measures, do ensure that you are able to collect the tax and people don't get away by avoiding tax or not paying tax, and some of the measures have to be punitive. All of that we understand, but look at it in totality. That is as far as the government is concerned. But I just don't hold only the government responsible. I think all of us, successful business people, successful entrepreneurs, past entrepreneurs, current entrepreneurs, people who have made success out of it, I think need to come together with this kind of an incident. Create a good safety net. Create a mechanism by which entrepreneurs, owners, businessmen who are in trouble, who are going through a tough time, can reach out to them, can get counseling help, can share their problems. See, entrepreneurship is very hard. It is very lonely. And the peer pressure to show that you are strong, you are not weak, you are not failing is very, very strong. So that bottles up inside. Because if the CEO or the founder is shown to be weak, then he sends a wrong signal to all the employees, investors, creditors. So he tries to put on a brave face. But that's not good, because what suffers is his mental health. What suffers is his or her equanimity. So for that, I think if we have a good support group of peer entrepreneurs, successful people who can help by bouncing off ideas, by thoughts, would help. It also will need government, it will need NGOs, it will need people who can provide counseling. Unfortunately, in India, we don't take mental health very seriously. Whereas abroad, if you see successful people, they even consider it almost like a badge of honor that you're going to meet your shrink or you're going to meet your counselor. It shows that you're a big enough guy, successful guy, that you can afford to get a professional help to put your mind in order. But here, if you say somebody is seen going to a counselor, psychiatrist, you say maybe he's crazy or he's branded image.
And that's the important point at which I'd like to take it from here, because it's like Mr. Ganesh was saying, that it's also about all of them, the entire industry, striving hard to put India, and they have, on the global map and continue to remain there. And that while that effort is being made, such kind of situations that do come, it is important for the industry to stay together and help one another. And that is one learning and lesson that has come out from this entire episode. While doing so, we're all proud of the way all these entrepreneurs, especially people who are part of the startup world also, are trying very hard to create a niche in India and make India a separate entity in the world map, somewhere that everybody can look up to and invest in. Rohini Swami in Bengaluru for The Print.